Welcome back, I'm Agathis and I'm online and we are playing Sunless Sea. Let's continue from where we left off. And I think we were exploring, or we had just arrived at Quaker's Island. The first place we'd actually stopped on our journey. If your hold reaches 0, your ship will sink. Thanks for that. So, we have arrived on Quaker's Haven. Does this have a name? Right. We started here in London. We sailed down the coast to the Murray Straits and we reached Quaker's Haven. So, yes, we discovered Quaker's Haven and we gained 50 fragments of a secret. So, just to take a look at where we are now, during that voyage, we used up 3 barrels of fuel. We started with 10. And we used up 2 cases of supplies. We started with 5 and we used up 1 in an encounter. So we used about 1 case of supplies. When you're sailing, this bar will go down to 0 and the hunger will go up. We also have terror, and that will also increase as you go through the game and explore the darkness. So in Quaker's Haven, we have a few options. This is the story tab, so this is the sort of general things that you can do in the Haven. You can check out your hold. So in the hold we've got 7 units of fuel. We've still got 3 units of supplies, so we've used 2. We've still got the tomb colonist, this person who wants to die, who's in a coffin. They're still in the hold and they take up space. So each one of these takes up space. 7, 3 and 1 is 11. Curiosities don't take up space. The Invictus token, we are in unforgiving mode. So this is the mode where you can't save the game. It will auto save for you, and if you die, you're dead and you have to start a new captain. But your new captain can inherit some of the items and storyline from the previous captain, so it's a legacy type game. We've got that doesn't take up any space. We have recent news, so that means that somehow we picked up news in London. I think we read the newspapers and people might be willing to trade that recent news. You can't have more than 1 recent news at a time. That's fair enough. We have 180 scraps of lore. Okay. Now, we have an accomplishment, Mariner. We know something of the Untersee. Okay. We can't left or right click on that. Memoirs. Okay, we remember that we have a room of the blind helmsman. We remember that we were a soldier. We've got... Now you can click on these and expand them a little bit for 1 or 2 extra details, but that's about it. Objective. Find my father's bones. Right, that's part of our background. The Admiralty Commission that we picked up. Retrieve strategic information from Guider's Morn, somewhere in the Corsair's Forest. We have no idea what that is. Take the colonist to Venterbite. So Venderbite. That's the colonist that we've got in the hold here. Okay. Fine. Gods of the Sea. Stone, Storm and Salt. Okay. And we attracted Storm's attention from that random encounter. We don't know what this means. Just live with it. Father's Bones. We have to talk to the Admiral to get the next part of this. We have to gain his favour. Miscellaneous. Now, Request for passage. You welcomed a passenger on board. I have no idea what that means. We welcomed somebody. Okay. Ruby writing. The Gnomic Gallivant is on a mission. We have to visit the Kumean Canal and the Iron and Misery Company funging station. Again, we have no idea where these places are. Now, we've stopped in port here at Quaker's Haven. They don't go away. This guy, this Gnomic Gallivant, is still on board for some reason, waiting. And something awaits you. This is something that gets generated at regular intervals throughout the game. So, what it means is that you're going to get some sort of an encounter, say, I don't know what it is, once a week or once a day, and the game will regenerate this. We'll come back to that, it'll become more obvious. We have our officers, we have a mascot, a ferret, okay. Right click to speak to this officer. He gives us 1 extra heart, we've got 27. And the cook, he gives us 1 extra heart as well. So let's talk to the mascot we'll speak to. The comatose ferret lies across our deck like a lumpy scarf. Play with your ferret. Alright, maybe not. Talk to the cook. What you want? He might say more, but a coughing fit takes him. Eventually he straightens up and wipes his mouth slowly with his forearm. The shady cook is not the most hygienic of officers, but he'll do until you find someone better. Voragenari. Whatever. Spend a secret to improve your hearts. Ask him what he wants from life. Now, if you want to increase your hearts here, you need hearts no more than 49. That's fine, we've got 27. And we unlock it with 1 secret. So we'll probably have to pay that secret. Similarly, if we want to talk to the mascot, it will probably use up this something awaits you. And you could only use that once before it disappears. So, you have to decide which one you want, what you want to use it on. If you look at the story for Quaker's Haven, we have a few options here. We can drink at the local pub. Quaker's Haven. This once simple fishing village was part of the local suburbs before London fell, and the waters rushed in. Smoke spirals from the cottage chimneys. A lonely hill rises behind the town. So you can drink at the Cock and Magpie. So this will cost you another day on Mutton Island. So you can't do all of this stuff in one day. It will cost you 20 Echo. We have 120. And you need Terror 1. We have none. Everything's calm on our ship right now. We can explore the shore. So again, it will use up another day on Mutton Island. And it will use up our Something Awaits You. So do we want to use that Something Awaits Us on this? Or do we want to use it on talking to the mascot? We can talk to the mascot anytime, so I would rather use it here. Pick up a wretched mog. Meow, meow. A yellow-eyed, mangy, piebald thing winds around your ankles like a manacle chain. You've never seen a cat's mouth open that wide. Presumably it's hungry. Again, this will use up a day on Mutton Island. It unlocks when you have 3 supplies. We have 3. Does that mean it's going to take away our supplies? It might. Unlock when you don't have a wretched mog. Okay. We can chat to the fisherman. That will use up a day. It'll cost us 1 Echo. So we throw them a few pennies to buy them a drink. And it will give us a port report. Visit the hilltop. A modest challenge. Again, it uses up a day and Something Awaits Us. We can buy supplies, we can buy fuel. This is probably not the best time to buy fuel. So fuel here costs 20 echo. Only costs us 10 back in London, and that was not very far away. Supplies cost 30. They only cost 20 in London though, so we're not going to buy them here. We've done that. Officers, any shops? No. Shipyard? No. So really it's either just talk to our officers or do some things from the storyline. Let's talk to the cook. Speak to the cook. So we can choose this one for free. This isn't going to use up any space or use up an encounter. Frere. He looks you directly in the eyes. Slowly. He repeats it more slowly. Sea of Lilies. He licks his lip very slowly. Eventually, you have to look away. The Sea of Lilies is somewhere in the east central Untersee. So it doesn't tell us, but let's presume that we have to take him there. Okay. And that's all we know for now. So, in our journal, do we have a new objective? Not as such. Oh, okay. Alright, fine. Story then. Quaker's Haven. Let's chat to the fisherman. That's basically almost free. Or visit the hilltop. Let's chat to the fishermen. They sail the Zee around the island, they mend their nets by the harbour. They see all that happens here, but you'll need coin to open their mouths. Fair enough. So, little ships and little secrets. Pirates plying the waves, smugglers at their work, carnate ships putting into resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. We've lost 1 echo. Okay, we gave them a penny. We now have 1 port report for Quaker's Haven. Excellent. That will be useful to give back to the Admiralty, and we can trade that in for something a bit later on. Continue. We can explore the shore still. That's fine. Or visit the hilltop. Yes. A modest challenge with a 75% chance of success. We'll take that. 75%. Do that. There's not much wind on the Untersee, but Mutton Island suffers eerie gusts and buffets from an inexplicably local fragment of weather. And the air on the hilltop sometimes carries interesting scents. You stand on a hilltop, overlooking the little village. Smoke from the chimney of the Cock and Magpie drifts straight upright. As you watch, the smoke tilts. The sudden wind thins it to a pencil smudge, then nothing. The wind screams unexpectedly like a god cut in half. What a noise! It must be the caverns around the island channeling the air. At least, that's the most comforting explanation. Below you, the locals each take nips from a shared flask and make a toast towards the mainland. The wind is a southerly. You succeeded in a page's challenge. Alright. You now have 2 wary X terror. So our terror has gone up to 2. Is that right? Terror of 2. You've gained 6 fragments of a secret. And that's all for now. That didn't seem very worth it somehow. 6 fragments is not a lot. I don't know how many you need to make a secret. You need another 102 to make a secret. Okay. That's it. So, I think we've lost that something is waiting thing. Yes. That's sort of gone now. We could go for drinks in the Cock and Magpie, but spending 20 echo is not really worth it, I don't think. It reduces your terror, I'm not really bothered about 2 terror, I don't think. Officers. See, if I try and play with the ferret now, nothing awaits you here. Time to leave port. Nothing's going to happen. So we have to go out to sea again before we get this something awaits you back again. And that's it. We might as well leave. So we'll press E to launch. The light goes on. And we're going to sail round this way. So we get another 50 fragments from exploring Mutton Island. We'll check the map here. I'm not going to go too far from London just yet. We'll stay relatively close to the shore. Now, our fuel is going down and down and down, and I can turn the light off. And you can turn it off near other lights, and it has very little effect. If you have your lights off when you're in the dark areas here, your terror will start to go up. You'll see a little light appear here. It should have gone orange there. That's an encounter coming up. It's gone red. So we're stacking up terror very quickly there because we had no light on and it was dark. So now I stopped at the light ship. The light ship, we are far from home. How are we doing on the timer? 15 minutes, okay. The light ship. Its clear bright beam warms the way. Speak to the crew of the light ship. Purchase fuel. So fuel is 20. It's half that price back in London, so we're not going to do that. We'll use up recent news. Okay, let's see what we get from that. Go. Tea beneath the light. In the bleaching glare of the lens, among the smells of oil and metal, you sip tea and chat. The Z's terror recedes. You've lost 1 recent news. Fine. We've lost 2 terror. That's good, we're back to 0. And we have gained a Z story. Strange truths are told of the waves and what lies beneath. The lies are even stranger. So we learned a story from the crew of the light ship. That's nice. We'll see if we can do something with that sea story later. That's it. That's all we can do here. We've used up that. We're not going to buy fuel. There's no shipyard. There's no shops. Officers are the same. Okay. Let's move on. I don't like this fog over here. Let's stay away from that fog. What's this? Another island? Uninhabited. Alright, nothing special there. Pure Wild Point. Okay. Hunter's Keep. Hunter's Keep, 50 fragments. Okay, you can see the green lights are here now, so our terror's going down because we're in the daylight. This is somewhere we can stop. Hunter's Keep, okay. I'm going to turn the light off a little bit just to conserve some fuel. It's going back up again. Alright. We don't want to gain too much terror. I'm not too worried about terror for now. And dock. Hunter's Keep. A quiet isle. A grand old house. Okay. Hunter's Keep. A hump of dark rock swathed in mist, like 100 other Untersea islands. But here's a grand house, windows aglow. Lawns, impossibly green and lush in the false starlight, raked gravel paths. You stand on the dock as the sea nudges the ship's sides. An unexpectedly warm breeze carries the faintest trace of lavender. Present yourself at the house. They will have heard your ship come in. Why hide? Walk in the gardens. Take a couple of burly sailors with you just in case, but the gardens are But the gardens are tranquil as moonlight. Reconnoitre the island. Plunging cliffs, soft green lawns, a well tucked behind a fold in the ground. Anything else? Let's see. or spy on the house. A very modest challenge. So, let's reconnoitre the island. That's free, as far as I can tell. That will get us a report on Hunter's Keep. Go. Ships rarely come here. Nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the island. The house and the sisters. But the Admiralty may be happy to know that at least nothing's changed. I now have a report for Hunter's Keep. Good, that cost me nothing. A walk in the gardens or present myself. Let's take a walk in the gardens. The lawns are neatly trimmed and the night flowers of the Neath bloom here in profusion. You watch the hedgerows, but nothing comes to menace you. You can savour the peace. There is a pointed cough from the shadow of a potting shed. An angular woman in a maid's uniform, her eyes a peculiar sulphurous yellow, advances and frowning. She indicates the house, turns on her heels and leaves. You know something of Hunter's Keep. Okay. Present yourself at the house. Why hide? Now we've lost the spy on the house bit. So maybe if we'd have done that first, we'd have got something out of it. Maybe. We don't know. Alright. Knock and enter. A maid with smouldering tapaz eyes shows you into the parlour, where 3 young women wait. A visitor! The youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest sighs. Do excuse the indecorum, she says. Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe, the cheerful one is Lucy. You are in good time for lunch. Will you join us? You are acquainted with the sisters of Hunter's Keep. Okay. Now, again, unlocked when something awaits you. It seems like we might not get anything here because we've already had an encounter down on Quaker's Island. But we could have lunch with one of the sisters. And we could give them news if we had it, but we don't. Lunch with Cynthia then. Go. Cynthia grasps your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue. Her hair is wild and tangled. Birds might nest in it. It seems to you that you are sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to a story of a murder. An axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop? Cynthia asks. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll have the maid wrap up something for you. You can't be hungry. It's not safe to be hungry. So, we gained 1 terror, and we gained a tale of terror. So a tale of terror is, again, it's a sort of a tradable thing, I think. You can tell somebody that tale, and they might give you something for it. That's all for now. I gained a supply. Okay, so she wrapped up some chops for us, and they can go in our hold. We lost 20 hunger. You might have noticed that our hunger was about here before. We lost 20 from there, so our crew are sated. Iron remains unchanged at 50. Okay. So maybe if we'd have had an event, we could have increased our iron here. We'll have to remember that. And Gods of the Z, Salt's attention. Quality is now. I have no idea what that means. It's watching you. Okay. Gods of the Z. Salt's attention. Okay, so Salt is one of the 3 gods. It's watching you. Fine, it knows who I am. Right. Fine. Anything else we can do here? No. The parlour is empty. Where are the sisters? The maid makes it clear through a series of unwelcoming growls that Phoebe, Lucy and Cynthia are all indisposed. No lunch today, apparently. So, if we had news, they can be tempted out of their lair by the smell of news stories. We could sort of get them back again and get to talk to them again. So that's pretty much all we can do here. Any shops? No. Any shipyard? No. That's all we can do. I'm getting the feeling that it's probably about time to head back to London. Maybe we'll do that in the next episode. Okay. Let's do that in the next episode. I'm Agathis, I'm still online, and I'll see you next time.